Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You know, doublespeak was, according to George Orwell, in his 1984 dystopian novel. It's two truths that were, actually two opposites that were both true in the same time, or something like that. We can't really have that. You know, if this is white, it cannot be black in the same time. Or if these are glasses, they can be bicycles in the same time. Well, we are required to employ some mental gymnastics in order to not see reality. This country is broke, the economy is doing bad, the inflation is high, the income stagnant, goes down because the inflation and the prices go up. You get an 1% increase, and the union says, yeah, we did it for you, get the fuck out. Anyway, so we have two articles here that tell two different stories about the same subject. It can't be true. They can't be both true in the same time. Let me show you the first one. I was like, what's his name? Bernie Sanders. All right. So the first article comes from Sputnik. I will use this one first. So Sputnik, and this is the title. This is from 5 hours ago, today on the 20th of October 2023. US government deficit widens, gets bigger by 23% for fiscal year 2023. So we got people in garbage, 23%. Let's make it 25. 25, my friends. That's a quarter. To 1.7 trillion. So the deficit, the fiscal deficit. What does that mean? Well, they're going to tell us here. Year-end data for September 2023 monthly treasury statement. Treasury, remember the word treasury, because I'm going to use the next article. It's going to be about Yellen, the treasury secretary. Statement of recipients of outlays of the United States government show that the deficit for fiscal year 2023 was $1.7 trillion, 320 billion higher than the prior year's deficit. So it was a deficit last year, but now is with one quarter, with 25% more. Said the statement jointly issued by Treasury Secretary Yellen. Well, the next article is going to be Yellen telling us that the economy is doing great. And the director office, the two officials noted that after a typical strong revenue growth in 2022, driven by record high capital gains, receipts, and the historic recovery from the coronavirus pandemic, revenues in 2023 fell to 16.5% of gross domestic product, or GDP. Individual and corporate receipts also returned to lower levels in line with projections made after the passage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017. These drops in revenues was the primary driver of the increase in the deficit as a share of GDP. The statement said, by contrast, non-interest spending did not meaningfully contribute to the increase in the deficit as a share of GDP. Alright, so this is one. Let's go to the other article right here that I have ready for you, which is this. From the Insider, the US can afford to give money to both Israel and Ukraine since its economy, the US economy, is doing extremely well. Idiot Jewish American Yellen said. Nothing wrong with that, just felt like pointing it. So she said the economy is doing extremely well, but then we somehow have a deficit that increased 25%, I would say, 23%. How is that possible? I don't know. I'm not an economist, but something doesn't sound right to me. What do you think? What do you think, my friends? And because I don't want to talk smack, I will show you what a national deficit means. Okay, so we make sure that I'm right. What comes in is less than goes out. It's like a household. All right, let's say you and your wife or your husband, let's say together you make $100,000 a year you bring in a home. But your expenditures, you expend, let's say, every year $150,000. All right? And 150. So you have a deficit of $50,000 that you're going to be borrowing from somewhere, or you're going to make money. You're going to print money. And the next year is going to grow from 150. It's going to grow, I don't know, about 35 thousands more. So you're going to get 185 next year, which is about 25%, let's say. 25% out of 150, let's say, is about, as I said, about 33% or something like this, 33,000. So 150 with 33,000, you get 183. So 83,000 the next year, and you still bring in the home 100,000. So you still bring 100,000, but instead of having to pay outside all your expenses 150, now you pay 183. And the next year is going to be 220, and the next, and so on. So let me show you here, so we don't talk smack here. What is the national deficit? A deficit occurs when the federal government spending exceeds its revenues. The federal government has spent 1.70 trillion more than it collected in fiscal year 2023, resulting in the national deficit. Here it is. Fiscal year to date since October 2022, total updated monthly using the monthly treasury statements, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And it says right here, increased 23%, 320 billion extra. Extra, that's on top. And this idiot says the economy is doing extremely well. How come? If the economy is doing extremely well, then the deficit should shrink. That means if the revenue comes in as an economy, more revenue, more taxes coming in, no, less spending. Or if the spending increases a little bit, if the economy is doing extremely well, you got to catch up at one point. When? In year 3529? Well, I don't care for that time. We're not going to get there that far as a planet. I guarantee you that. By that time, we're going to be taking a shit. I guarantee you that. So which one is it? Oh, let me show the date so we don't talk smack here, okay? Here's the date. Monday, October 16, when Yellen he said that garbage, doing extremely well. So this was what? It was 4 days ago. And Sputnik came 5 hours ago, today on the 20th. So it's not like we're talking about years apart. We talk about days apart. Exactly 4, to be more precise. Who's lying? Someone is lying. No, the economy is doing bad, and I tell you why. The economy is doing bad because when I go to buy groceries, which I use, or gas, now gas dropped a little bit, but they say, well, because it's winter approaching, people don't drive that much, so the demand decreased and so on. Yeah, and the cost per barrel is 92%, the Russian barrel. I think the American is like 90. Texas is 90, and I think the Urals or something is like 92 or something like that. From the cap of 60. From 60, right now is 90. The sanctions worked greatly. All right, my friends, when I go over there and I see the price per gallon is $3.20, this is how much it is right now. You know how much it was in 2020 when the orange man left? It was 89 cents a gallon. A gallon is what? 378. 3 liters, 78. 780 milliliters. That's how much it was when Orange Man, that bad guy, remember the racist guy? Your life was better. But hey, who cares, right? We got this guy who started 2 wars in the meantime. No, he didn't start them. They started him because he was too strong and he intimidated everyone. Or maybe he was supposed to, because he's not going to get into that right now. Anyway, you don't tell me things are better when I say pay more at the store, more for electricity, for taxes, for everything. Only stupidity is cheaper because it's omnipresent. We all have it by birth, and we're never going to get rid of it. We're going to be dumb sometime in our life, so we're never going to get cured of stupidity. None of us. Well, it's good because if sometimes you're dumb, you can appreciate how genius you are at times, and vice versa. I mean, if you have no way of comparing your abilities or lack of, you will not appreciate. Like the same, sometimes it's good to be sick, because then you're going to appreciate being healthy. If you would be healthy all the time, you're going to be like, what's that to be sick? Nothing. But sometimes you need that just as a reminder. Not sick like badly sick sometimes, but please recover. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.